all right. We are back in action here with another match. We got a 10:30 match here between Nicole DONISI and Zach MARLOW McCarthy. Is going to be playing against Joe BARBOSA and Yvonne COLFAX. And this is Gold Scotch Doubles, Race to 4. This is Patrick Nix. You're watching this on the EvoSports platform. We are doing a live demo of the new platform that can be installed in your favorite pool hall or bar that supports pool. It's a player-run live stream system, so the players are running it themselves. They have the tablets on the table, and they're just keeping the score for us and doing all the heavy lifting here, as well as playing. So this should be an interesting match. I know one of the players. I know Nicole DONISI, great player, part of the NWPA. Also a very good graphic designer, does a lot of the flyers for tournaments. And this is Joe BARBOSA that's racking the balls. And we are ready to kick this thing off. So Joe's going to break first and get this match going. We're still waiting for another match to start on table 18, our other live stream table. I'm not sure who's up there, but we'll find out in a minute. A nice break from Joe. Getting a good scatter, getting a ball in the side. And he's got some options here for Yvonne, his partner. I believe Yvonne is out of Junction City, Oregon.
Tournament desk is looking for Scotch doubles team. Moss Castilla. Back to the tournament desk for table reason.
And it looks like Yvonne is eyeing out that 5 ball. Get started. Looks like the easiest starting ball to get going. Going to take solids. And I think the challenge for solids, yeah, nice shot. Challenge for solids is going to be this 2 and 3 ball up here. They're not exactly wired to go for that combo. I think the combo is possible. But I do like solids because it has that little protector ball down here to give you a little insurance policy. Blocking the 8 for the other team. So you might want to choose to save that for a little bit later, just to make sure you're going to get out. And I do believe that the 7 has a path to play through these 2 balls. It looks like should go there in the top right corner. Yvonne threads the needle nicely with that 7 ball, but leaving kind of a difficult option here for her partner, Joe, to get this thing continued. Kind of a tough spot to be in. I don't know if he's going to try this 3-ball combo, this 2-3 combo, and try to send the 3 down table into that pocket, but that might be the only shot that he really has as far as offensive opportunity goes. And he's calling the side pocket. I think he's what he did. He might have a bigger piece of that. Yeah, he's got a little more of that 4-ball than I thought he did. So if that's the case, that's definitely the right shot.
Scotch doubles, open communication. You only have 45 seconds to shoot.
Okay.
Coach, all in the same 45 seconds.
All right, so
Do not want to have to put anybody on the shot clock.
here we go. Nicole DONISI with her first time at the table for their team. Be coming up with a good look. Everything looks playable except for the 8-ball. It's the only one that they really have to work hard to figure out. Good starting shot, opens things up a bit more. This is Zach Marlow McCarthy at the table right now. Taking care of business. And this team, Nicole and Zach, are Nicole is a 503 Fargo and Zach is a 475. So fitting into the under 1,000 combined Fargo rate cap for gold Scotch doubles. Both teams pretty equal with the ratings. Maybe a slight favorite to Nicole and Zach by about 20 points. Oh, watch that side pocket. It's always hard to scratch in that side, but the side seems to suck up cue balls, even at weird angles like that. You just don't expect to scratch at that angle in the side. So tough break for Nicole there. Giving Yvonne ball in hand. She gonna get started with yeah, I was gonna wonder, like, does she want to start with the 6 or the 4? But she's looking like she wants to start with the 2-ball. And then maybe try to bring that cue ball in between the 6-8 there. I'm not sure exactly, or bump the 8 out of there. Bump the 6 out, okay. That might not be bad. I think she's left her partner an opportunity to stun off the 4 and bring out, but I think he wants to get out to this part here for that 6-ball. So he's going to have to hit it fairly hard to get that stun to work. Yeah. Oh, I guess I forgot about this 3-ball here. I didn't even look at that. It's a good thing I'm not playing. I would have completely forgot about that ball. Okay, looks like Yvonne is going to try to back cut this 6-ball. And this is a must-make shot because everything is pretty open here. No safety net on this one. Overcuts it and... well, she did kind of make the 9 and 10 a little bit funnier. Not sure that 9-10 is a wired combo. We will soon find out. If it is wired, I like his choice right now, taking the 11 first. Oh, there we go. Excellent shot from Zach there to get that cue ball over, giving Nicole a really nice look here. Not wanting to take that funny combo, getting in the short side position is very good work from Zach. But Nicole coming a little short with that 10 ball. Just didn't want to fall in the pocket. It looked like a good shot first, but just not quite. It does cause a problem here with the 6 ball now. Good punch follow there to try to really force that cue ball back down table. Just didn't get enough on it to get down to a really manageable position on the 6. So I'm thinking Yvonne might try, what are you going to do here? I don't really want to speculate because I don't really know. Is the bank on? Bank that back. It's an aggressive move, and it doesn't really guarantee you shape on the 8 ball anyway. But if you don't do that, what's your defensive move? It looks like that's the only offensive opportunity. Let's see what she can pull out of her hat here. Gonna have to pull off something. I mean, if you stun off and pocket this 10, then the 6 ball is going to go up table and leave them an opportunity on the 9 and the side. So she went for the bank shot, pockets it in the wrong pocket, and that's going to turn over the table to Zach and Nicole to get a 3 ball out here and get on the board first.
Looking for Scotch doubles team, Wall Sralka, and Wall Fisher. Wall and your partner.
A little scary there. So coming into that 8 ball, that's going to make some challenges here for Zach. He's going to call the bank shot. And just plays a safety. Look at that. That's a smart play right there. Instead of going the aggressive route and really trying to bank it, he just says, no, I'm going to leave it dead center, 50-50 yard line. and force you guys to bank this thing and get out. It's kind of a challenge here. He says, I dare you to bank this 8-ball and get out on us. Because he passed up an easy bank to give them a harder bank. Oh, is that? I don't think it's going to go. Oh, it did go. What a shot. Great shot from Joe Barbosa right there to bank that 8-ball home. Couldn't see because his body was in the way of the camera, but what a shot. And yeah, I think Zach is going to second guess his decision there to not go offensive on that 8-ball and give them an opportunity to bank at home. So he turned down an offensive bank to give them a chance to win, and they took it. So Barbosa and Colfax with a little bit of a steal there. right, I am back. Just had to get table 18 set up with their stream. And still thinking about that 8-ball that Joe Barbosa just drilled right home, long bank, to take that first win. And I'm sure Zach over there on the other side is thinking about his safety play and maybe second guessing his decision to not really go for that bank. So see how this plays out in rack 2. So Yvonne with a bit of a tester here on this 14 ball. Not sure if she's really wanting to make sure she's got this just right. And I see all 7 solids still on the table, so I'm not sure if the other team has gotten to the table yet or not, if this is a break and run scenario or not, but I missed the first part of it. All right. I wrangled in a co-commentator. It's going to be coming back in. Mr. Jack Kiskey's going to be coming in to help out in the booth a little bit, do some volunteer work. Oh, nice cut on that 12 ball from Joe. And he gets shape on the 14. Great shot. Catches that window very nicely. And that's a really good position to leave his partner in. Yvonne has just got to put a stop shot on the 14. Giving him a slight angle on the 9 to come back down table for the 8. And they are in a fantastic position to win this rack. And Yvonne coming to look at the reverse side of this ball, make sure she has the angle down right. You know, and a stop shot might float the cue ball over to the side rail, which isn't bad because it actually gives her partner a little better angle on the 9. She floats it in. No big deal. Still a nice angle on the 9 that should bring the cue ball back nicely. I believe coming into this 9 and coming off of this rail, if you want to put a little bit of right spin on it, you could try to avoid the side pocket, or if you didn't want to get that fancy, just try to come out this way, get somewhere in here. You do have to watch the scratch here. The scratch is definitely on in the side pocket. And he hit it pretty good. I like that shot. Not a gimme on the 8 ball, but certainly a good opportunity to close out rack 2 and give Barbosa and Colfax a 2-0 lead with this 8 ball. Okay, here we go. The money shot. Yvonne Colfax for the 2-0 lead. Still taking time to get settled. Oh, she's got a player behind her that I think somebody bumped into her. I think that was V Lang that bumped into her on the other table. It's tight quarters in here, so you want to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. The tables are close together, so you get a lot of people that might not be looking behind them. Okay. She looks ready now. Right down the pipe, no problem. 8 ball goes down, and leaving their opponents with all 7 balls on the table. Barbosa and Colfax are off to the races with a 2-0 lead in the short race to 4. Gold Scotch doubles match on the A side. Everybody's on the A side right now, except for a couple of teams. All right. We are back on, and I've got a co-commentator now, Mr. Jack Kiske. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Nix. How are you doing today, sir?
Very good, very good. We've got a gold Scotch doubles match here between Joe Barbosa and Yvonne COLFAX, and that is Joe at the table right now. They're up 2-0 against Nicole DONISI and Zach Marlow McCarthy.
Well,
So this is my first time watching some of these players, but I know Nicole from NWPA and some other things that she does.
he's definitely taking his time assessing this shot.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to get off to a really strong start, so there's a lot of clusters and challenges on this table too. So, all right, so looks like Nicole has come into the table with stripes.
Stripes are a tough one to navigate here because trying to get shape on, I believe that's the 12 ball underneath the 2, and then the 9 ball there are pretty difficult to be able to get to. You've got a couple opportunities to be able to break it out if you can get down on the bottom rail, but looks like she's going to try and play a safety here back up underneath the 8.
Not a bad idea. Loosen some stuff up, put the pressure on the opponent.
Yeah, left the 3 in a really bad spot, but I think it leaked out and left him the 4 up table.
I think that 3 might actually play in the side right here. That's a possibility that she bumped that 3 enough to where it plays in the side right now, but we'll find out.
I'm not sure if she can. It's hard to tell from this angle, but
it
I'm
is
not
hard to
sure
tell.
if she can quite get enough of it.
Well, if not, the only shot she's got offensively is that purple 4 ball up table.
You are on the clock. Your Schnellball Blitz.
And if she just rolls this in, she should be able to slide up table to be able to have the 7 ball in the side. But great
Nice.
shot on the 4.
Yeah, right up the rail. And the 2 might be the option here to break out the 3 right now.
Yeah, if you can make the 2 and then run right into that 9 ball to bump the 3 down, you just need to make sure you don't hit it too hard because you don't want to tie it up on the bottom rail. But he's going for the 6 ball.
Yeah,
here.
he's not really even looking at that 2 right now, so. He's going to bump into the 1 here a little bit. Oh, just undercut it a bit. So yeah, these little clusters like this turn 8 ball into a chess match, don't they? In some of these games where, both teams kind of being a little bit shy about wanting to break it out. And a lot of times though, the one who does break it out doesn't win the game because they do something and they get the breakout, or they get the breakout and they miss the shot, or they get the breakout and they don't have a shot on the next ball, and so a lot of times it is in your best interest to, bait your opponent in a way into taking breakouts for you, taking out clusters for you.
Yeah, but I think he's got a good angle here to be able to make the combination on the 9 to the 12 in the corner.
Oh,
And if he makes that, he should be looking really good. But he managed to be able to play it in a way he didn't end up opening up that 3 ball for their opponent. So
yeah,
he
fortunate.
did get their ball open, and he's got a couple of good opportunities to break it out later. So that was a pretty good play. At least get one of your balls loose and don't really open much else up for your opponent. And I think the 9 ball plays now into the corner, so he's in good shape.
This is 13 ball, I believe.
Oh, 13.
Yeah, that's the 13. The 9's over here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's okay. Orange and yellow are, hey, they're close. You're close.
well, I never claimed to be the smartest guy at the table.
Well, that's why we bring you into the commentary booth.
Need somebody over here to make mistakes and make you look good.
Right, exactly. I just hand it off to you, and no, I always enjoy commentating with you, Jack. You've got a good insight and knowledge into the game, and always very respectful of the effort that it takes to, play this game successfully and play it well. And you know what it feels like to be under the gun and under pressure in these situations because you've been there so many times, and that makes a good commentator just having that experience.
Well, and one of the things I always try and remember when I'm commentating for people that no matter what their skill level is, and even when I'm helping players out at league or in the bars or anything like that, is I try and tell them, there's no matter what mistakes you make, you know, the better players have made those mistakes way more times in their life than you have, and try and keep that in mind, because if somebody makes a mistake, it's easy to,
It
get
feels like you're the
down
only
on them
one.
and
Yeah, you're
be
like you're the only
"Oh,
one in the
I can't
world.
believe you did that," or whatever. But it's like, hey,
Yeah.
Shane Van Boning's made that mistake 100,000 times in his life because he's missed that shot more times than you've ever shot it.
Yep.
He just doesn't miss it much anymore. But every player in this game's made the same mistake.
Good point. Good point. So, do you like here cutting this 7 here into the side, sending the cue ball down into the stack this way? Is this your shot with solids right now?
That is a good move.
I mean, you're not
Play it with a little
guaranteed.
bit of low right, but it's hard to guarantee shape. I think I
Yeah.
might cut the one ball to the top right corner with a little bit of high left and try and come 2 rails off the left side down into the 2 ball.
Okay.
Try and lengthen it out from the line that you've got there,
Right. Okay.
and run into the 2 ball. But if you don't, try and play where you come up short, if anything. That way you can still cut the 2 in the corner past the 15 and maybe come off the end rail and spin back into the low side of the 3.
Okay. All right. So Yvonne looks like she's eyeing up the 2 ball right now, and I don't know that that's going to get her a breakout on the 3 if she makes it.
hits it easy with top, she may be able to clip that 8 just a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
She hit it too thick.
Too thick, and
that's a tough shot no matter what you do. But she did manage to block that pocket up, and she's got a good breakout ball now to be able to play the 2 to open up the 3.
Good point. Good point. Real estate is important in this game of 8 ball on a small table. You soak up that real estate by the pockets, and that puts your opponent in a tougher spot, right? So Nicole with the really only one good option here to shoot at, which is the 14, which isn't bad because you can bring it up here and get the 13 in the side next.
Yeah, I mean, you could play the 9 in the side right now, but that's really tough. She's electing to play a safety. Try and force the opponent to take a long shot on the 7 or to try and cut that 2 in. But I don't like giving up this shot, because if you can make that 2 with a little bit of inside, you can break that 3 ball out. And if you can end up with shape off of that, you're off to the races here.
Yeah, I agree. I think she did give up an opportunity here to thin cut the 2 in with some inside English and check that cue ball back up so it pops the 13.
Yeah, especially on this worn-in felt, that is a pretty easy shot. If you're playing on new felt, it's hard to be able to get that cue ball to bite to shorten up. I'm sure you know that, just having your table recovered.
Yeah.
How slick those rails play.
Oh, man, it's amazing, the slide that happens, and you get that high karate, where you're trying to – any ball that's close to a pocket, if you're using top on it and follow it just – it'll die there because it slides into the rail, and then that top grabs and holds it there. Yeah, the playing conditions make a big difference on how, what you choose to use for, follow or draw. With a really broken in cloth, follow is usually your best option if you have it. When it's a very new cloth, draw a lot of times is your best option.
That was a very nice shot.
Yeah. Well played. Still hasn't solved the 3 ball problem.
But you've got a couple of good options here. You can cut the 1 to the top left corner with a little bit of right hand English and come 2 rails around
the 12.
and try and come around the 12 right down into it to break it out.
Oh, come down into the 3. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see. I like
'Cause
using
with the 2 ball that close to the pocket, it's hard to get hooked. But
right. Yeah.
you
good
are
point.
taking a little bit of a chance, because if you don't get the breakout, you bump the 13 on top of the 2. That forces you to open up everything for your opponent. But could, if you had a really good stroke here, you could shoot the 2 and draw back into that cluster, but that makes it really hard to be able to get any type of shape afterwards.
Yeah, shape is going to be tough if you draw into it from the 2. I agree.
I think just about a half a tip of high and a quarter tip of right, and just let that cue ball drift right down table into that stack. You just got to make sure you make the ball here, that you're just helping the natural angle just a little bit, so you can pretty much just dead focus on trying to make the ball. But she didn't seem very confident in being able to get much out of that, but she did leave option for the opponent, but that 9 ball and that 13 ball are still in a bad position.
I'm wondering if the 13 passes by the 2 ball here, slides past it. I don't know.
But you could probably take the 13 off the end rail and off the 2 and in, or if you were to make the ball the 12 ball, I believe it is, in the side pocket, then cut the 9 off the long rail off the 2.
Yeah, I like
to
9,
be able to open that pocket
9
up
off
for the
the 2.
13.
Yeah, I like this shot here. If you can get maybe a little closer to your work on that one, it makes that a little easier. But that shot does push the 2 ball into the 14, right? So, if you're looking at that, you got to make sure you hit it hard enough to where that 2 and 14 don't get clustered up.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need to make sure you hit it with a little bit of pace, because if you can hit that shot where you can kick the 2 into the 14 and bump the 14 about a foot over to be able to give yourself room when you shoot the 13 into the pocket where the 2 is, to have a gap to be able to cut that over in the right corner.
All right. Got my partner Justin Lee coming with some food for us.
It's nice to know that your business partner is also bringing you DoorDash orders.
Yes. And I know they're not supposed to bring in outside food, but we're vendors, so we can do that, I think.
Oh, don't worry, I won't tell anybody either way.
Right.
It looks like she was trying to figure out if she could make that 14 and then come into the back side of that, or play the 15 and leave her partner a shot on that. But I don't really like trying to break that out if I can avoid it.
Where's she going with this? Thin cut, just a thin slice of it, and leaving the cue ball where she kind of left it before on her last shot, giving him that option for the thin cut with inside. Come back into this, and you've got that 1 ball sitting down there as your little insurance policy for getting to leave, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I really favor the 2 ball right now with inside, hitting it thin with inside and breaking out the 3, just because that 1 is sitting in a great spot for you to have a backup shot. You just got to make sure you make the ball.
Yeah, the only thing you want to make sure here is you, in my opinion, you want to try and split the 13 and the 3 when you run into this, because if you clip off the low side of the 3 ball, you could end up hooking yourself behind the 8
or scratching.
when you slide off.
Or scratching, it could come off and
depending on
slide
how hard
into
you
that.
hit it.
Right. So he's going 1 first.
Trying to leave his partner an opportunity to shoot the 2 and break the 3 out. But,
this is going to be tough.
He
It's
ended
going to
up
have to
pretty
be
straight on this.
It's going to have to be a draw shot here, unless that 3 plays up corner, up table. unless you want to try for a leave for your partner, and I think it does. It's just a tougher shot, but I think that might be there, and that might be the best option for them. Because if you try to draw into this to break it out, you're unlikely to get leave on it.
Well, another option they might have here is if you shoot the 2 and then you cut the 3 up toward the corner pocket, but if you don't quite have enough room, you could play it off the edge of the 13 for the side.
All right.
To the right side pocket, but that's...
Can you still hear me? Okay, hold on one second. I turned down your mic and not mine. Hold on. How'd your match go? 4-0. You won? Sweet. When's your next one? 12:30. 12:30. Oh, okay. So you don't really have a whole lot of time to maybe come in and do any commentating?
I do what I can for you, but you know how it is.
I was going to go to the bathroom and eat some food. If you feel like jumping on for...
I can do a half hour for you.
That'd be great. You and Jack? Yeah, why don't you come in here?
Yeah, I give you till noon, okay?
Yep. You know how to use the mouse.
She actually managed to be able to get the little bit of a breakout there, but unfortunately hooked herself behind the 8 a bit.
Is it the left dial?
Yeah, this one's yours,
Okay.
even though you're on the right.
Gotcha.
This one? Yeah, that one's yours. This one's mine.
And so it's going to be Joe at the table right now. Joe Barbosa.
Let's going to see whether Joe can make a bank shot out of this, or if he actually has enough of that 3 to be able to make something work here.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Introduce yourself, please.
Well, Patrick Nix is stepping out to be able to get something to eat, so we got Rich the Toothpick Roddle sitting in commentary in Patrick Nix' spot.
Yep, the toothpick is in the house.
Welcome to the party, sir.
Thank you, thank you. 2-0, walked into a good match, huh?
Yeah, I hear you just got done with a good match.
We did. We fared okay. So, Scotch is a learning experience. You know, you just have to be very patient and do what you can on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
So, Joe and Yulon hold the lead currently, 2-0, looks like.
Yeah, and now everything's opened up for Zach and Nicole to be able to try and at least curb this little bit of a lead that they've got, slow them down a little bit. This would be big to be able to get out here because, 2 to 1 is way more favorable than down 3-0.
That's a big difference, yeah. Closer you get to that magic number, that everything just tightens up.
And the later on in the match you get, the more important every little swing in that scoreboard becomes.
So let's see what kind of draw shot Nicole has here.
She's a little over 500 Fargo, so I'm assuming she's probably going to be able to, maneuver the ball a little bit when she needs to. But she seems to try not to overdo a whole lot from what I've seen. She tries to keep it pretty simple, which generally speaking is the smarter way to play.
Yep, that's the old KISS principle. Keep it simple.
Oh, yeah.
Well, roll a 13 up, and they could be clean here. Roll the 13 up, stop on the 9, so let's see what he can execute. Oh, he's trying the 9. He's shooting defense, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to kind of go for a two-way shot here, but
ooh, he had it until that death kiss at the end.
Yeah, I really think that if he was going to go for a defensive shot, he should have not tried to bank that 9. He should have just cut it up table a little and guaranteed getting back behind that 8 ball.
Fully
and if you're
commit.
going to go for the out, that 9 ball is a great ball to be able to get on the 8. So the 13, I believe, would have been the better shot because you just roll that in, leave your partner a stop shot, and you're straight in on the 8.
That's what I was seeing too.
But it's always easier to be able to say what's going on when you're sitting here in the booth. When you're at the table, everything's different. So
it's a lot easier to make balls too. I've never missed from here.
Well, I did once, but I mean, it took a lot of tequila for me to miss from over here.
This is the first time that we've spent time together. So she's going to roll this 3 through, I'm going to guess, and try and get her partner to put the 8 in the side pocket right at her right hip. But we'll see what she can do.
Well, from what I've seen, she tends to just try and roll balls in pretty much pocket speed. So my guess is she's probably just going to try and roll this in and leave her partner a shot up in the top left corner.
Or top right,
But
either way.
she doesn't seem to really do a whole lot other than just try and roll balls in. She doesn't try and hit anything too hard. So I don't think she's going to try and really get into this to do much for sure. Oh, she's going to try and draw back. Looks like off the 9 and leave her partner a shot in the 8 in the same pocket.
Perfect.
Oh, that was a great shot.
Yep, that's a beauty right there.
Very nice control on that. Well, that brings Joe and Yvonne up to 3-0 lead.
The racing, is this gold?
Yeah, this is gold Scotch doubles. I am not sure what the race is to in this format. From what I've seen from other matches, I'm assuming it's probably race to 5, but so
I've
it's
just
race
been
to
told-
4, so
yeah.
that puts Joe and Yvonne on the hill.
On the hill. Puts Joe and Yvonne on the hill, and it puts a lot of pressure on Nicole and Zach. Boy, I've been there many times, and it's just like, oh, you do what you can.
Yeah, but, in this format, Scotch doubles, some weird things can happen, and, they're definitely not out of this. In a race to 4,
No.
and you get a couple of, poorly timed missed shots by Joe and Yvonne, it can lead Nicole and Zach to get a pretty good comeback. And if they can get a couple of games, then all of a sudden, all that pressure goes back on Joe and Yvonne, going from being on the hill with a huge buffer to it starts shrinking up real quick. And then the next thing you know, you're the one that's getting the sweaty palms and the shaky hands.
That reverse pressure happens pretty easy. I've talked about this before. We were down here years ago, and we had a really good team. We had a 12-6 or 12-7 lead in a race to 13. All of a sudden, we started losing, and it's like, well, he didn't get his. I have to get mine. And we just crumbled like a house of cards and lost.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of that.
I know which side feels better. So this table lays fairly well. I believe he's going to take solids. I don't think, because he doesn't like that 13 ball.
Yeah, the only thing about taking the 6 ball here is then you open that 13 up.
Yep.
And yeah, your balls were the better ones, but then after he just bumped that 7 ball up against the 8,
Yep.
and now you opened everything up for your opponent, you go from having the better ones to being the ones that are, fighting a little bit here.
Tough to tell by the camera angles, but he might have a follow on the 4 to roll in and clip that 7 and 8. But let's see what they.
Yeah, it looks like you can come off the side rail and just split right between the 213, and ideally, if you can clip about a quarter ball on the high side of the 8 and leave yourself a shot on that 2 ball, you can be looking pretty good. But
even full face of the 7 and just use that 7 for a stop ball for him. It looks like they're going down table. I don't know if
well, I mean, I can kind of understand this. I think I'd go the other way, but she is dead on the rail and trying to shoot off the rail, shooting that 4 ball. That's always a tricky shot, and there's the potential to miscue, and so taking a bit of a safer option I can understand for a lot of players. Um, I mean, every once in a while you got to just say the heck with it and go for it, but being a little more timid about it and trying to make sure that you're avoiding any egregious errors is definitely a smart move a lot of times.
Well, the only thing he doesn't want is to be straight on his 5. Underneath it or on top of it, either way. That works. You can
I
come
like
around
that.
Yep.
Leave it right on the rail so that you got that natural angle. Maybe hit this with just a little bit of left. Try and come off the side rail, and if you can run into the 8-7, then great. But if not, play it at a speed where maybe you come back between the 11-13 and end up with a shot on the 4 or the 2.
Yep, I'd say about good speed and about a half a tip of left here. He's spinning right down into that line, I believe.
The only thing you don't want to do is end up getting too much English or too much power, getting underneath those balls, because that's the only place you can really end up dead.
Using a little bit of courtesy here, and he's letting the opposite table shoot. I see a leg flying in the air there.
Well, either he was stretched out shooting a shot or he's over there dancing because he won. I'm not sure which.
I think it was the shot. Well, there's the spin we talked about. Well, that tightened the deuce up also.
Yeah, a little too much left on that.
Might be able to shoot this 4 and correct it and come up, hit this 7.
Well, if you hit this real good, I think you can hit this with a little bit of inside, clip the left side of the 10, and then carry them off of that into the 7, open up both of your problems, and end up with a shot on the 2.
Yep, 3 and both. Look at that. You called it.
Oh, that was a good effort. He caught that 10 just a hair thick, but that was a great effort.
Well, was that 7 bank somewhere? Can't tell from the camera angles.
Well, I'd be willing to bet that it can bank into the side pocket between the 14 and the 11. And you've got a big buffer there because if you go short, you can go off the 11 and in. If you go long, you can go off the 10 and in. But it's hard to tell if those are froze or if there might be a little bit of a gap between them, because if there's a little gap, that 7 could play in the other side, but it's just really hard to tell from this angle.
Yeah, I'm trying to peek down range at the table here, and I can't get a clean look at it either. So we will let time tell us. I think he's going to go to the corner here and try and come. Well, look at that. That tells me cross bank.
And that's tough trying to split right between that 13-11, and you got to hit that with pace to shorten it up. Yeah. And then to try and guarantee yourself any type of shape on that 8 ball is really difficult.
His partner's back there saying, well, I made mine. A lot of thought process here.
Well, I mean, it's good that he's taking his time on this, because it's really easy when you get on the hill to get a little lax and just figure, hey, we're on the hill, we're good, and just, get a little careless. And
yep. Bad news there, yeah.
It's good that he's taking his time here.
He called the 7 back at him, which tells me he's going to send his 8 for a ride. Is he
I
trying
think
to
he's
carry
going to
him?
cut it and try and carry him it off the 13 back over. Ooh, missed the 13. It was a creative idea. And if that cue ball and the 13 ball are both froze on that rail, that makes that 13 ball real tough down table.
Yeah, that's the shot they'll roll down and try and use that smoke screen of balls to hook him, if nothing else. But, like you talked about, if they are both froze, that 13 is going to have to contact a rail somewhere, and nobody called anything for frozen here.
I think I might go for the 10 in the top left corner, but just because with, like I said, with those froze, that's tough, and they might have left him a window there.
That's what I'm wondering.
And even if they don't have quite enough room, if either one, if they know how to jump at all, they're not having to clear very much of a ball, if anything at all. So
It's got to be a jump draw shot, though. Got to get far enough to either put the 8 in the corner or in the top left or bank it to the bottom left.
there are definitely no guarantees here. But I don't even think you need to draw it. I think they've got angle if they were to make it with a little bit of top and go over and across to play shape for it up in the top left.
Well, she does not have a shorty, so she's got a playing cue. No jump stick.
Oh, must have at least a little bit of a window here. She's pretty flat. Must have the full window.
She did.
Yep. Well, didn't do her partner a whole lot of favors here, but it's still their turn, and that's the important part.
Yeah. What do you play here? Reverse bank, 8 in the lower left corner.
That's really risky because even though you've got, I believe it's the 14 kind of blocking you from scratching, theoretically, you could easily come off of that and push right through it into that side pocket. I think maybe your better play here would just be to cut that 8 straight into the 10 ball and roll that cue ball up to the head rail and back down to the foot rail and try and put it right where that piece of chalk is, froze down there.
Yeah.
Just try and open that 8 ball up and leave them on the rail and force them to have to try and run out, because you don't want to do anything
Don't want to give away
too
any
careless
freebies.
here. Yeah.
No freebies.
I mean, even in BCA with the scratch on the 8 not being a loss unless the 8 goes, if you're trying to bank that in, there are a lot of ways this could go bad for you, but it looks like he's loading up and going after it.
No, there's that shot
See?
you talked about.
Pushed right through that
Yes, it
14
did.
and into the side.
Yeah.
Only reason I know that shot is because I've probably fallen victim to it about 5,000 times in my
Yep.
life.
That's the same way with the old ball on the rail would draw. And look, I'm not going to draw it into the side pocket this time. Whoop, there it goes again.
Yeah, but a lot of times that's your subconscious when you're sitting there thinking right before you hit it, I'm not going to go in the side. Your subconscious kicks in and goes, okay, we're going for the side pocket, and you tend to draw it over there. You need to focus on the spot on the rail you want to hit, not the pocket you're trying to avoid.
Well, they have a valid run going here.
Yeah, might have gone a little
You
straight
draw it
on
back
this,
here.
but
Go,
yeah,
go
you,
14, 12, 11.
I got a feeling they're going for the 11 in the side pocket, which means you're either going to have to put a lot of inside on this to try and check it up, or you got to put a little bit of low outside and try and come around.
Come around 3 rails.
Unless your partner really likes side pockets. Oh yeah, she's eyeing that 12 up for the other side, which
Not a bad
these
shot.
are decent sized side pockets on these diamond tables. They're a lot more forgiving than the corners, but
Nope, she diagrammed out the 3 railer to herself. We'll know by the speed. She went for
Yeah,
the
she's
three-railer.
going. Tried to go 3 in
Oh.
a round, and she ended up clipping it, but this should be fairly straightforward. If her partner just shoots this in straight top, cuts it in, pocket speed, you should go over and across and leave the cue ball right about where that 12 ball is for your partner to have an easy shot up in the corner. But
This is pretty much a do or die, though. Look at this. This is a beautiful shot that
oh, and it
my
hangs.
gosh. A hanger. Oh, wow.
That's going to leave a mark. They're going to walk away from that match and be grueling, beating themselves up over that one not dropping for them. But that just goes to show sometimes you take the right shot and it just doesn't happen to go.
There it is.
Well, congratulations to Joe BARBOSA and Yvonne COLFAX. And hopefully Nicole and Zach have a better opportunity in the next match to get things rolling. They seem to be making some pretty good shots, but just coming up a little short at the end of the outs.